is Mr. Jonathan Rivers, Believe in Motivate. He is a motivational speaker, a published author, and CEO of Believe in Motivate. He will be running with us for the next few months to promote his brand and talk to our community about how to be positive and live a wealthy and healthy life. So with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Jonathan Rivers.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Like I said, I'm very privileged to be here this morning, and I'm going to pour out everything into you guys, and my prayer is that you receive what's given into you. So the first thing I need to do is I need everybody to scan the room for me. Just take some time to scan the room, see what's in the room. And I want you to point out something in your mind that's black. Just find anything in the room that's black. Give you about 5-6 seconds. You've already got something you pointed at. I know what you're looking at. All right, find something in the room that's black. Everybody have something in mind that's black? Mm-hmm. All right, now everybody close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes. All right, everybody has that picture in their mind that's black. Everybody can visualize what they've seen that's black. Everybody in their mind knows when he asks me what I'm going to say. Everybody with me say yes.
Yes.
Everybody with me say yes.
Yes.
Now I want somebody in the room to tell me something that's blue. Close your eyes. Keep your eyes closed. Tell me something that's blue. Let's go. Let's go.
Roy's suit.
Okay,
Joe's jacket.
Joe's jacket. Good. Roy's suit. Joe's jacket. What else? What's blue?
Sky outside's blue.
Okay, good. What else? Anybody talk to me? Talk to me.
My tie.
Your tie? All right, good.
My shirt.
Your shirt?
My dress. My dress.
All right, now everybody open your eyes. I just flipped it on you, didn't I? I came here and I told you, look at something that's black, identify something that's black, focus your mind and energy on something that's black. Then I told you close your eyes and I told you to tell me what's blue. Life happens. And that's exactly what just happened to you, life. Now see, in life, they're going to have two types of people. You're going to have change agents or you're going to have complainers. See, in that moment, in your mind, somebody said, oh, fudge. They said, oh, no, he just flipped it on me. I don't know what I'm going to do. How dare he come in here and tell me to find something that's black when in actuality he wanted me to see something that's blue. See, those are the type of people that are complainers. Those are the type of people that make excuses rather than adjustments. Because see, when you make an excuse, you know what you do? You build monuments that lead to nothing. And those monuments that lead to nothing build bridges that lead to nowhere. And people that make excuses are incompetent and they're capable of mastering nothing. So when you're trying to come in here and be a subject matter expert in your event, when it comes to sales, when it comes to helping people reach their goals and their dreams, if you're making excuses, you're leaving that type of imprint on them, and sooner or later, they're going to make excuses on why they're not living their dreams. Those are complainers. But see, there are about 3 or 4 of you. Everybody was thinking hard, but 3 or 4 of you came up, okay, my shirt's blue. The sky outside is blue. You started to dig deeper than you thought you could. You are a change agent. Complainers and change agents don't have anything different but their mindset. You guys were all exposed to the same situation, but change agents said, I'm going to dig deeper and see what I can find, while complainers said, I don't know what I like. I don't know about this situation. So you're going to make excuses or you're going to make adjustments in life. That's the number one answer. And the one thing I'm going to pose to you guys is the same thing I pose to everybody that I speak with, whether it's my family, whether it's the young men that I coach, whether they're people that I coach or train that are individuals working in organizations. I ask one question, do you want to be good or do you want to be great? Do you want to be good or do you want to be great? In your mind, if you're saying I want to be good, I'm telling you, if you want to be good only, you're on the verge of being average. And being average is simply the denial of your purpose. But if you want to be great, I want you to ask yourself, are you doing what it takes to be great? Are you sacrificing something that's good right now for something that is great in the future? Because if you want to be great and you want to have something that you never had in the past, you have to do something that you've never done now. That's the difference between being good and being great. And the one thing you have to have is a foundation. What are you about? What is your value system? What is your work ethic? What is your mindset? I know you guys have probably heard somebody tell you in life at some point in time to stay focused, correct? Somebody say, hey, stay focused. I need you to focus. I need you guys to be in the fight. The problem is never staying focused. Nobody in this world has a problem being focused. We only have a problem focusing on the right things. I want you to remember that. Because see, complainers will focus on circumstances that they can't control. Change agents will focus on circumstances they can't control, and they will be positive in their outlook, while complainers will be negative in their outlook. You have the same circumstance, but how you focus on it will dictate your outcome. I'm going to tell you a story. I was out in California last year on business, and I trained people in this organization called Positive Coaching Line. So they send me throughout the United States to train coaches, train youth organizations when it comes to sports, and I love it. You get to meet so many different people. You get to meet so many people from different backgrounds and different mindsets. So when I was out in California for the first time, I was walking this trail, and as I was walking this trail, I just happened to look outside, and I said, man, This weather is beautiful. I don't have scenery like this in Georgia. I looked up, saw the clouds. I said, man, these clouds are beautiful. Another guy that was walking with me said, you know that's smog, right? I said, no, I didn't know that. I said, so I'm glad I got my degree in business because meteorology isn't my field, right? So I said, well, tell me about this. I said, the smog, he says, yeah, I want you to look at the landscape. I said, I want you to look at all these trees that are here. He said, do you see all these beautiful trees? I said, absolutely. He said, but there are only half as many trees now than there were 5 years ago. I said, why is that? He said, because California experienced its worst drought about 5 or 6 years ago that it's ever seen. Its worst drought. And I said, man, he said it was dry, bone dry. And then he said, you know what happened? In about a 6-month period, after that drought, in California got more rain than it had in that 5 or 6 years than previous. I said, well, that's great. I said, there was a drought, the rain's coming, the nutrients are coming, that's excellent. He said, no, it's not. He said, because during the drought, the trees that were up, the roots, the foundation, what was holding that tree up from the bottom, became brittle. They became fragile. They became compromised. So then when the rain came, when those storms came, and when those winds came, because there was no root, there was no foundation, the trees got washed away. So when I ask you, what is your foundation? I'm asking you for a reason. I'm asking you for a purpose. What is your work ethic? Because if you don't have a high work ethic, you will be washed away when somebody pushes you to the limit. If you don't have high character, the first time somebody puts you in a position where you have to exhibit ethics and moral character and you can't do it, you will be washed away. I don't care what kind of skill set you have, it's the kind of will set that will get you to where you need to be. What is your foundation? What does it stand on? Who do you stand on? And what do you stand for? Because see, you guys work in sales. You're not selling products, though, you're selling dreams to individuals. Individuals come to you because they want to change their quality of life. They want to cross the bridge from where they are in life to where they know they can be in life, and that's what you're here for. So what do you stand on? Because people don't see WXTX or WTVM when they come into this place. They see you. You are the brand. You are the individual that's going to help them change their life. And if they don't feel it with you, they're not going to feel it with themselves. And when I talk about foundation, not only do you have to have a strong foundation, but it's predicated on a lot of things. First thing it's predicated on is power of speech. The things you say in your lifetime will come to pass because you speak them into existence every day of your life. Your body language is predicated on the words you speak. Your conversation with people are predicated on the words that you speak. The way your day turns out is predicated on the words that you speak. I want to share a quick story that I know some people in this room really love. It's a story about a young man and his father. And his father was outside building the fence. And this young man was about 14 or 15 years old, and he was the most negative person ever. Everything he said was negative. Everything he said was life-taking. Everything he said was draining to an individual. You guys ever been inside of a room with somebody who's just life-draining? Like you walk into a room and they walk into a room, you're like, man, I love everybody, but I don't love you that much today. Why are you here? Because every time they speak to you, they take life from you, because rather than speaking life to somebody, they're speaking about somebody. They're talking about what somebody can't do. That complainer that we talked about earlier. So that's what this young man was. So that young man came in one day and his father looked at him and said, look, he said, everything out of your mouth is negative. I need you to stop it. And I'm going to make you pay for it. Because every time you say something negative to somebody, every time you say something that is not life-giving, you have to nail a hole in my fence. I'm going to put you to work. He said, fine, I can do it. So for the next 3 or 4 weeks, he continued in his negative ways. He continued in his negative speech. And he had to continue to hammer nails in that wood fence. And after about a month, this young man said, I have to change. I'm tired. I'm sweaty. I'm not able to do what I want to do because I'm out here nailing my father's fence because I can't be positive in my speech. I need to change my mindset. So he went to his dad. He said, Dad, I'm going to change it. I will not be the same young man that I've been the past couple months, the past couple years, entirely my whole life. I will not be that guy. And he said, okay, I'll make a deal with you. He said, every time you say something positive, every time you say something that's life-giving, every time you say something that's affirming in somebody's spirit, I'll let you take out a nail. He said, cool. So for the next month, that's all he was about, being positive. He reshaped his individual culture. He reshaped his inside. He reshaped his mindset. He reshaped his focus. And everything he did was positive. So one day when he removed all those nails and he had to hammer into that fence, he ran in the house so excited. He said, Dad, come look at the fence. Come look at the fence. Look, all the nails are gone. What do you have to say now, Dad? He said, son, I'm proud of you. He said, I love the fact that you were able to be positive and that you removed the nails from that fence. He said, but I want you to realize something. The nails are gone, but the holes are still there. So I want you to look at this fence with all of these holes. And so I want you to realize that ships never sink because of what's around them. They always sink because of what gets inside them. So I'm going to ask you today, what are you allowing to puncture your ship? Because see, the person that we're negative with the most is ourselves. We wake up in the morning and say, I'm brand new at this job, I don't fit in, I can't do it. Nobody in my family is a coach, I can't take this. I wasn't built for this. Hey, I was abused as a child, I can't move forward. I'm not smart enough, I don't have the money to make this change in my life. I'll never be able to get where I want to be because of where I've been. My past is just too black. My past is just too hurtful. My past is just too dark. I can't get over the hump. And every time you tell yourself that, you're speaking truth into your life. Because the words you speak will become what happens to you in your life. It is a law of attraction. Those things in which you think on, those things in which you speak will come to fruition. Everybody in here wants quality. You want quality clothes when you go to the store. You want a quality job. You want a quality life. You want a quality vehicle. But every day we wake up, do we consciously think about the speech that we exhibit on a day-to-day basis? Is it quality? Is it exceptional? Is it extraordinary? A tree is known by its fruit. A tree is known by its fruit. What type of fruit are you providing to yourself and to those around you? Because when you come into this office every day, you are creating an environment, you are creating a culture. And if you're not intentional about creating a positive culture, you'll be intentional about creating a negative. A culture is always being created, it's always being cultivated, it's always being sharpened. And if you're not aware of that, that's a problem. What's your foundation? Do you want to be good or do you want to be great? Is your speech simply good or is your speech great? And if you truly want to be great, another thing you have to do is stay in the fight. You have to stay in the fight. You guys know the 5 W's of question asking: who, what, when, where, why? Everybody's heard that, right? You guys probably heard that when you were 5, 6, 7 years old. It's twisted because it has the most important thing last. We always ask the question, who? Who do I go to? We always ask the question, what do I need to do? We always ask the question, when does it need to be done? We always ask the question, where do I need to go? Or where is it supposed to be done? But we never ask why first. Your why is the most important thing of anything. Because your why is your motivation. Your why is the reason that you're getting up every morning and coming here. Your why is the reason that you look yourself in the mirror and said, I'll never quit. But see, the reason people quit is because they look at their struggle, and their struggle becomes greater than their why, rather than their why becoming greater than their struggle. It's simple math. If your why is greater than your struggle, you will be successful. Because when tough times come, when arduous time comes, when adversity hits, you'll be able to focus on that why. You'll be able to focus on that diamond. You'll be able to focus on that goal that you see at the end of the tunnel rather than what you're looking at right now. And it's called grit. Grit is the ability to focus and stay focused on long-term goals in the midst of short-term disappointment. Remember what I told you earlier, nobody has a problem focusing. We only have a problem focusing on the right things. I was on my way to Atlanta about a year. A lot happened to me in the last year. And I was on my way to Atlanta last year. I was on my way to a voiceover appointment. You guys can see that, right? I was on my way to get some voiceover training in Atlanta. I get on 85 North. I hit a stretch of the highway. Boom! I was like, oh man, my tire blew. Darn! Truth of the matter is, it wasn't my tire. I see my hood start to smoke. So I pull over. I say, Lord, what's the problem? I get out of my car, my hood's smoking. I pick the hood up. Fire. So I calmly walk away, calmly but fast. Then I start to run about 20 feet north. The next 5 seconds, the car explodes, completely engulfed in fire. Smoke 30 feet in the air. Takes 2 or 3 fire trucks just to put it out. So a normal person would sit there and say, wow, this must not be meant to be. Hey, this wasn't the time. Everything happens for a reason. I wasn't meant to go to this voiceover appointment. Not me. I'm staying in the fight. I'm not running from the fight. See, adversity to me is a gateway rather than a roadblock. Adversity was an opportunity for me to show my strength rather than show my weakness. So I got on the phone with her and I said, excuse me, hey, my car just caught on fire. She said, what? I said, yeah, it caught on fire. Full blaze. And I said, I'm going to be about an hour late. She said, what? I said, I'll be about an hour late. But so what you don't realize is the reason that I was able to get to Atlanta was because I told myself that I was going to stay in the fight, and nothing, not even my car burning down, was going to keep me there. And the reason I was able to get to Atlanta because someone whom I had never met before stopped on the side of the road, said, man, what's going on? Are you okay? I said, I'm great. I'm blessed. I'm still here. My car's burning, but I'm on fire. I'm good right here. He said, let me take you the rest of the way because I'm going that way anyway. The opportunity presented itself because I was ready for the opportunity before it happened, simply by having a positive mindset. Nothing happens by chance. Nothing happens by accident. There is no luck. But there's always opportunity. And see, a lot of times we want to wait to get ready for an opportunity when it presents itself. Hey, I've got a raise for you. You need to do this in the next 6 months. No, I'm already ready for the raise because I've already done what you needed me to do in the 6 months because I was proactive rather than being reactive. I proactively approach life every day. I told myself no matter what happens before I got on the road that day, I'm going to this voiceover appointment. And I got there an hour and a half later. She says, you really must be serious. I said, this is my life. This is how my wife and kids eat. This is my why. And it will always be greater than my struggle. So no matter what, you have to stay in the fight. Somebody's going through something right now that is probably the biggest fight in your life, and you have been pondering on whether or not it's worth it. Yes, it's worth it, because you're worth it. You were born for a purpose. You were born to be great. You were born to be extraordinary. Doesn't mean life's going to be easy. Life will never be easy. Because staying in the fight speaks to you as an individual, speaks to your culture. It speaks to the value that you have. It speaks to the value that you provide. It speaks to the foundation that you build. Do you want to be good or do you want to be great? And in order to stay in the fight, you have to know how to compete. See, I'm going to tell you, there's a real problem with people when it comes to sales, when it comes to teachers, when it comes to organizations that I speak to. There's a problem because everybody says, yeah, I'm ready to compete, but you're never ready to compete if you don't know whom to compete against. How are you going to compete if you don't know your true opponent? Your true component is not the young lady behind you. Your true component is not the young lady behind you. Your true component is not Roy. Your true opponent is not Roy. Your opponent is not anybody in this room. Your opponent is yourself. You don't compete against anybody sitting next to you. You compete against the person who you were yesterday. Because who's going to raise your standard if you don't? And see, the problem is we let other people raise our standards. We let other people set our goals, and then we don't reach those goals. We want to blame that individual. But if you let somebody else take you out of your purpose or take you out of your position of high place or take you out of what you need and what God has called you to do, it is your fault because their desire to keep you there was greater than your desire to stay there. You have to learn how to compete. That is one of the most important components of life is knowing who your opponent is. You guys know who Michael Phelps is, right? Everybody know who Michael Phelps is? Pretty famous swimmer. Does anybody know who Chad LaClose is? Of course you don't. You don't know who Chad LaClose is? And I didn't either until I researched this. This is the last guy to beat Michael Phelps in the Olympics. Oh yeah, a few years back he beat Michael Phelps in the 200-meter butterfly. And for Chad LaClose, that was his everything. When he got back to South Africa, he had a parade. He partied like it was 1999 all over again. He was crunk. I mean, he loved it. And see, and then the Olympics following that, he and Michael Phelps were in the same room. See, Michael Phelps lost focus at that point in time. See, Michael Phelps was focusing on a lot of different things, right? He was focused on advertising. He was focused on endorsements. He was focused on branding himself. But he wasn't in the gym. He wasn't in the pool like he had been every other time to make him a world-class swimmer. But see, Chad LaClose got that medal on him. He says, I'm the man now. Michael Phelps, you have nothing on me. So then they got back to the Olympics 4 years later, and Chad LaClose and Michael Phelps were in the same room, and Chad LaClose was standing up like I am, and he was just jumping around excited. Michael Phelps, right? He made sure he got in Michael Phelps' eyesight so Michael Phelps could see him jumping around. He made it a point to do. Michael Phelps is consistently staring right here, just staring, not even moving. He's just looking straight ahead. He's focused on the right things. So as they get in the pool and they had that rematch for the 200-meter butterfly, Michael Phelps blows him out of the water. But I don't want you to focus on him blowing him out of the water. I want you to focus on the reason he blew him out of the water. And they showed it on national TV for everybody in the world to see. Chad LaClose was in that pool. He was swimming. He was in there. And every other stroke, what was he looking at? What was he looking at? Michael Phelps. Where's Mike? Where's Mike? Where's Mike? What was Michael Phelps focused on? Finish line. He never deviated from his goal. See, Chad LaClose's whole persona, his whole drive in life was trying to be better than Michael Phelps. And Michael Phelps was trying to be better than Michael Phelps. Do you see the difference? That's why he's a multi-time winning gold medalist. Because he focuses on the finish line and how he can get better as opposed to Chad LaClose focusing on Michael Phelps. You may see somebody in your industry, wow, man, they've sold about 3 or 4 accounts, but I need to get to their level. No, you need to get to the best version of your level. I'm going to tell you guys something I don't want you to ever forget. Losers focus on winners. Winners focus on winning. It's just that simple. And see, you're not a loser because you don't accomplish your goal that month. That's not it. If you put everything, if you stayed in the fight, you got somewhere. Progression is a success. Learn to celebrate that. But when you start focusing on someone else and what it is that they're doing, now you're letting them set your standard. Because if somebody comes in here 1 month and you're competing with them and they have 1 account that they sell that month and you sell 2, you're content with selling 2 when you could have sold 5 if you were really grinding to be the person you were called to be. That's not success. Why? Because you beat that other individual. So you're okay with being average. Do you want to be good or do you want to be great? Do you want to fly or do you want to stay grounded? Remember, nobody in this world has a problem focusing. We only have a problem focusing on the right things. You have to understand where you are. What is your foundation? See, a lot of people, you know what word I hate? I'm going to tell you one word I hate. And if you use it, I'm apologizing to you now because I hate the one word. I hate the word potential. I hate the word potential. Oh, what's your name? Cheyenne. Cheyenne. Cheyenne, you've got great potential. You know what I'd do if you told me I had great potential? I'd leave. I'd walk out of this room right now. If you said, Jonathan, hey, you got great potential. I don't care about potential. Because potential, the problem with potential is that people rely on it. They use it as a crutch. They use it as a tool. They can say, hey, you know I can do better, but I'll be content with not doing better because I have potential. See, potential is not meant to be relied on. It's meant to be built upon. And I'm talking about your ability. What did I tell you earlier? It's not about your skill set. It's about your will set. I don't care about potential. How many people have you heard that said, oh, he or she had great potential, but they never went anywhere because they were content with staying there? You show me a content man or woman, I'll show you a failure. Not because they can't be successful, because they chose not to be successful. See, living on your potential is a decision. See, in life, your circumstances will never, ever dictate your success. I promise you that. Your circumstances will never, ever dictate your success. You might be looking at me like, man, you don't know what I've been through. I don't. And I'll guarantee you, I've been through a whole heck of a lot. And I lay it out on the table for you. You'd be like, you're still here? Absolutely, I'm still here. Because your circumstances do not determine your success. Your success is not predicated on your circumstances. Your success is predicated on how you respond to those circumstances, how you react to those circumstances. Jack Canfield said in his book, The Success Principles, he gave me one formula that I'll never forget, and I love, man. He said, E plus R equals O. The event plus your response equals the outcome. He didn't say your event equals the outcome. Event plus your response equals the outcome. You can't control the event, but you can control your response. You can't control your circumstances, but you can control your reaction. You can't control how somebody else speaks to you, Cheyenne, but you can control how you respond to them. Joe, you can't control how somebody comes in here and tries to work one day, but you can control how you respond to them, and how you manage them, how you coach them, how you build them up. So what's your biggest ability? See, people focus on their ability. Hey, I have the ability to do these things. But see, your 2 greatest abilities are availability and accountability. Your 2 greatest abilities are availability and accountability. I don't care how much swag you have. I don't care how much knowledge you have. I don't care how much experience you have. I don't care how much sales acumen you have. If you're not here to put it to work, then you are not benefiting yourself nor benefiting anybody else who's trying to change their life. Availability is one of your greatest assets. Accountability. Who are you blaming? Are you blaming yourself or are you blaming others? We talked about it earlier, change agent versus complainer. Think about the level of accountability between those 2 people. And see, the reason I'm telling you this is because everything I do is based on self-assessment, self-evaluation. Everything I speak to you, I've spoken to myself daily. Everything is predicated on self-evaluation. Why don't you evaluate yourself every day? What day goes by that you don't need to be reevaluated? You change every day. You grow every day. You learn something every day, hopefully. So why not reevaluate how you react to a situation? Be conscious of the things that you do. Be conscious of the conversations that you have. I'm going to tell you guys a story. I used to work at the University of Phoenix here in Columbus, Georgia. Was killing it. See, I don't come in here bragging. I just come here telling the truth. My struggles, I tell you when I struggle. When I shine, I tell you when I shine. The only reason I shine is because I put in the work more than people. I came into work one morning, and everybody's chair was behind their desk. So I wrote a nice little note. I said, early is on time is late, and late is unacceptable. And I put it on everybody's chair in the office. Walked off and smiled. And signed it, Jonathan Rivers. I don't work in anonymity. I did it. What George Foreman said, I put my name on it. I put my name on it. I'm not going to sit there and write a note and act like I didn't do it. Jonathan Rivers. Early is on time is late, and late is unacceptable. Had been in the office 10 minutes. My district manager called me and they said, Jonathan, come here. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, hey, I see you put it on people. I said, absolutely. I said, I absolutely did. That's me. I did it. And she says, well, I appreciate next time if you do something that you would clear by us first. I said, yes, ma'am. I said, next time I want to say good morning, I'll make sure I run it by you. They were mad at me. They were mad at the standard I was setting. They were mad because they were having to be held accountable by somebody who wasn't their direct report. You know what the problem was? Their direct reports weren't holding them accountable because they let them do it. That's why they did it in the first place. See, I was a Roman representative for maybe 2 years, but people wonder why I was getting sent to Arizona because I was performing at the highest level. People were wondering why I was getting sent to the new campus after having even been there a year, and people were mad that I was getting extra meetings with my manager on how to get better. They were mad, not at me, but they were mad at the standard I was setting. Why do you see Jonathan every week for a meeting? Jonathan asks me for meetings. Jonathan's proactive in trying to be better. Jonathan looks at this situation as how can I get better rather than say, hey, tell me when I can get better and then I'll react to you. I don't deal in reaction. I don't like it. Because reaction to me is the equivalent of potential. You don't have to ask anybody's permission to be great. What are you waiting on? There's something you're doing right now in your current role that you could expand upon, that you could do better. And the question is, what are you waiting for? Whose permission are you waiting for? Why are you hesitating? Why are you procrastinating? If you guys have never read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, I haven't read the entire book, but I study it all the time. And 2 of my favorite principles are be proactive and begin with the end in mind. That means that you have to have a vision. See, I'm going to tell you simply what a vision is. A vision is something that you can see that hasn't happened yet. That's a vision. You guys don't think I had this vision before I came here speaking to you guys? How long ago was that meeting that we had when you brought me in here?
The first one?
Yeah, the first one.
What was that, February or so?
February of this year?
Yeah.
Or sometime, it doesn't matter. He brought local business owners in here to see how they wanted to run their business. There were 2 of us in here. 2. And in that moment when he was running the meeting, I said, I'm going to be speaking here one day. I told myself that. Hadn't happened yet, but I spoke it into existence. See, that's that quality speech I'm talking about. I'm not lying to you. I told him the same thing. A vision is something you can see that hasn't happened yet. True vision is seen with your passion, not your sight. You can close your eyes and still see your vision. You can be blind and still see your vision. You don't need eyes to see a vision. You got to have passion. You got to have heart. You got to have desire. What are you passionate about? It goes all the way back to that why. Is your why greater than your struggle? Or is your struggle greater than your why? See, procrastination will kill you. Let me tell you a quick story about procrastination. When I was in high school, I knew this girl named Jelani. Excellent girl. She was a cheerleader. I played football and baseball. One of my best friends. Loved her to death. Loved her to death. Graduated a year after me. So about 10 years later, she ends up coming to the same church I come to. I was ecstatic. She got to meet my wife and my kids. She had just recently got married, had a baby and things of that nature. I was like, yes, she's getting her life where she wants it. I'm so proud of her. And I would see her every Wednesday night at Bible study. We'd see her every night. And every night at Bible study, I would go up to her, give her a hug. She would say, how you doing? Fam, how you doing? Everybody would speak. We would love everything. She always had this smile on her face. You know how you can look at somebody and there's something distinct about that individual, whether it be their voice, whether it be their smile, whether it be the food that they eat. Her smile was distinct, and those dimples, they stuck out. That's who she was. Jelani was that smile. So one day I came in the Bible study and I saw Jelani, but I didn't see the smile. I said, something's wrong. I said, something's wrong. I said, I need to go speak to her because something's wrong. What did I do? Procrastinated. I said, well, maybe she doesn't want to talk to me. Maybe I shouldn't step in. Maybe I shouldn't bother her. Maybe I shouldn't see the reason because I was focused more on me, on the I, than I was focused on the we, than Jelani. So because I didn't feel like it was the right time for me to go and speak, because I didn't want to get rejected, or I didn't want to have her tell me something that I didn't want to hear, I did not become obedient to that moment. And I sat back and said, well, I'll talk to her later. I'll follow with her later. I'll wait until I see that smile again. So then I look around at the Bible study and she's gone. I said, man, I missed her. I said, oh, well, no big deal. I'll call tomorrow. I won't even wait till next Wednesday. I'll just call her tomorrow to see why she was feeling down that night. Problem is, tomorrow is never promised, because the very next day she had been murdered by her husband. I told you, I don't tell lies. It's a true story. She was murdered by her husband the very next day, less than 24 hours. She was gone. So I can't tell you with any certainty that if I would have gone to her that night and said something, that anything would have changed. I can't tell you with any certainty that I would have been an advocate to help her and that we would have got somebody involved and she would still be living to this day. But what I can tell you without any doubt in my mind is that I will never ever know what could have happened because I didn't move. I hesitated, I procrastinated, and now the situation is what it is. So now I live in a life of what ifs when it comes to that. I live in a life of what ifs. What if I would have taken that course that could teach me a little bit more? What if I would have gone to my manager and asked for a little bit more help? Or what if I called that customer back for the 4th time knowing that he or she has told me no 3 times? What if you live a life of what ifs, you're going to live a life of nothing. Because if you're not passionate within, you're going to continue to be without. Without what? Without everything you desire. If you're not passionate within, you will continue to be without. You got to stay in the fight. You got to follow through on life. Life is always going to happen, but at some point, you have to make the decision to happen as well. You have to make the decision to fight as well. You have to make the decision to punch as well. You guys know who Muhammad Ali is, right? You guys know who George Foreman is, right? You guys have heard of the famous fight, the rope-a-dope, right? You know what Muhammad Ali did in that rope-a-dope? He stayed on the ropes for about 7 or 8 rounds and let George Foreman punch him relentlessly. And everybody said, what is Ali doing? He is crazy. He's getting killed in there. Ali was letting life happen to him. He was letting George Foreman bring in the fight, but it really was time. All you're going through, if your strategy is not to fight back at some point in time, you're going to lose. Fight back. Own the moment. Be the person you've been called to be, not because anybody else wants you to be, because you want to be that individual. You're not here by accident. You're here for a purpose. And if you want to live a purpose-driven life, you have to live your life on purpose. You have to be intentional. And as I close, I just got one thing to tell you guys. One of my favorite poems that I've ever heard is that it's not our darkness that frightens us. It's our light that frightens us. Our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate, but our greatest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. Sometimes we're not afraid to fail, we're more afraid to succeed, which causes us to fall back. But when you step out because you've been called to live, when you step out and be the extraordinary individual that you've been born to be, when you step out and try to be great rather than be good, you unconsciously give people permission to do the same thing. People are watching you. And if you think it's okay to be average, they'll think it's okay to be average. So as you leave this door today, when you walk out there, what decision will you consciously make? Do you want to be good or do you want to be great? Because you have been not given a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. And with power, you can lift any dream. With love, you can accept any circumstance. With a sound mind, you can create any opportunity. Stop waiting on life to happen in life, and you'll experience riches that you've never seen before. Monetarily, spiritually, and emotionally. That's my time. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. I've got 2 more hours if y'all want to. I've got more time. But what I would like to do now, if possible, I would like you guys. I know earlier I said I don't take questions. You know, I'm joking. What's your name?
Taylor.
Taylor, then like, I ain't want to ask you a question anyway. No, seriously, does anybody have any questions on anything that I've said? Because talking is one thing, but life is about communication. You know, this is about relationship building. You know, the reason I'm here is because Roy and I have been able to build a professional relationship. That's why I'm here right now. And if you guys can't tell, there's a room of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people. I don't care if there's 8 or 8,000. I'm going to bring it to you. Because you have to set a standard. Like, you can't let your surroundings dictate how hard you work. So if you got one client this month, you got to be faithful to that client. You got to give him or her everything that you have. Because if you're faithful over a few things, you'll be made faithful over many. That's the truth. So stop looking at the tangibles in life all the time and start digging down for the intangibles. Where is the it factor in your life? Where is it? It's there somewhere. You just got to keep digging for it. Somebody in here right now is struggling with something. I don't know what it is, but I know right now you can come through and look at that struggle as an opportunity to make you better. Remember, when you see that struggle, write a picture. Draw a picture, write it down, record yourself on what is your why. And I need you to realize your why, and I need you to define it, describe it, and deliver on your why every day of your life. Your why has to be something that pierces your heart, that almost brings you to tears. Because if your why is bringing you to tears, then you know you never want to let it go. So does anybody have any questions for anything? About anything, regarding anything? Encore, talk to me. No?
Do you have any, do you have business cards or ways that?
I absolutely have business cards. I also have T-shirts downstairs. I wanted to come up here first.
Yeah, I like that shirt.
Just want to let you know, I have this T-shirt in multiple colors, and I'll get, if you guys are interested, they're $15, and the sizes you just let me know if you want one, when you want one to have you, and I'll tell you what we have. I have this T-shirt, and then I have the T-shirt that says, "If you're not passionate within, you will continue to be without," with the logo on the back. So that's what that is. I have those, and I definitely have business cards. I will go ahead and grab those for you as well.
Yeah, because the reason I mention is because we see businesses every day.
Absolutely.
And how many people that, multiple businesses, they sell things, they're trying to get through things just like you or me. And how great would it be to be able to say, I know somebody. I'd love for you to, get a chance to meet. Maybe he can come in and help you. It'd be a way of giving back to this guy for coming here to talk to us and giving us what he just gave us. So I'd love to be able to do that.
That's excellent. I appreciate that. Remember, it's about building relationships, guys. If you continue to pour into people, you will receive. I don't want you to pour because you want something back. I want you to pour because you want to pour. And sometimes we pour into people and we feel as if I'm giving all of myself. I don't have anything else to give. But God is going to provide you with what you need if you just continue to pour. There's somebody behind you that's pouring into you. You never even met them yet. You never know what's in store for you. We have limited vision, right? We have limited sight. So that's why you walk by faith and not by sight. That's why vision is something that you can see that hasn't happened yet. Close your eyes and picture your vision. If you haven't done it, do it. This is something tangible I'm telling you to take from this. Write out your vision. Define and describe your why. Get rid of the who, what, when, and the where. None of that matters if you don't have a why. If you don't have a reason for something, it doesn't matter who you can talk to, doesn't matter where it is, doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter when it can transpire. If you don't have a why or a reason or a foundation, nothing matters. Define your why. And stop competing against the next person. I harp on this a lot because I see it a lot. And people wonder why I've been able to be so successful as a youth coach, as an all-state player back in the day when I went to Auburn. I played for a little while. People wonder why, because I always strive to be better than I was yesterday. It's just that simple. But it's just that hard. We tend to focus on other people. Man, what is she doing? What is he doing? How do I get there? Your focus is now distorted. And if you have a distorted vision, you can't have a clear path. That's just simple as that. So what I want you to do before when you leave is I want you to define your why, and I want you to cast your vision. And I'm in Columbus. I'll be back. I know where you are, so it's not like I can't come check and make sure you did your homework. I've got names: Cheyenne, Taylor, Roy, Joe. What's your name? Akila. What's your name? Kim. Jeff. My church member, right? You go to Spirit. When she walked in, I was like, I'm not gonna say anything to her. But she knows what I'm talking about because Vanessa's the usher at Spiritfield, so we've known each other for a while. You know what I mean? So those are the things. Like, I'm here, so it's not like I'm not going to be back just to come check on you guys and say, hey, how's everything going? Like he told you, I'm doing business with WXTX. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. It's about relationships. So the next client you talk to, the next prospective customer that you talk to, build a solid relationship. And if they say, hey, I'm not interested right now, they say, hey, I know you will be interested in the future. I'm going to continue to follow with you until your mind changes because I'm here to help you change your quality of life. You're not lying to them. You're not lying to them. You're telling them the truth. Set the expectations with them. Hey, this is what you should expect from me. You know why? Because now they're not caught off guard. If you set expectations, now they feel more comfortable because you're building credibility. If you want to have a relationship, you got to build credibility. There are 3 letters that I want you to remember. It's ETR. It's called earn the right. You have to earn the right with individuals. You know why I'm in here today? Do y'all know why I'm in here today? I'm going to tell you something. I came up here 5-10 times before to try to speak to a sales team. Got told no every single time. Never got mad. How did I earn the right? Because I got with him and I made a commercial and somebody saw it and they said, hey, bring him in and let him talk to us. Sometimes you got to take an alternate route to get to your destination. It's okay, I'm still here in the building. I told y'all I'd be here. I said it to myself months ago I'd be here and I'm here now. Y'all probably saw me like, who is that guy? That guy is that guy. Makes sense. That guy is that guy. But you got to be confident in yourself. Love what you do. Love who you are. Love who God has made you. And continue to sharpen that individual every day. Iron sharpens iron. So if you haven't walked around and trying to get tips from somebody else as you're competing against them, you're losing the battle. If If you're looking at somebody like, oh, they're doing well, but I don't want to give them this tip because they might catch you losing the battle. Why not? One person eats, everybody eats. One person's success is everybody's success. I see a t-shirt that says 554 WXTX. To me, that indicates a team. From where I stand. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not. So how you going to change the culture? There's a culture here right now. I don't know what it is, but if I stay here 10 minutes, I can tell somebody what the culture is just by watching you work for 10, 15 minutes. What's the culture? If you don't like it, change it. You got everything. You got the tools. Literally, I can go all day. I'm not mad. You know what I'm saying? Until they say y'all gotta go back to work on here, I can go all day long. Guys, remember, find your inner child. You know, back in the day when you were younger, you would do anything for nothing. How you would just go outside and play, or play a game, or play with your brother or your sister. You would twirl something in string or something, a yo-yo, a Rubik's Cube. Anything you would do for free, find that joy. Because you should never be shy about making money. Don't think I'm coming here and say, hey, don't worry about me. No. You want to make money because money helps you do things. A lot of money helps the world go round. Right? But if you're willing to make money, if you want to make money, first thing you got to do is make a difference. You got to have some type of impact. You got to have some type of impression. See, when I leave here today, you've got an impression of Believe and Motivate from this last 30, 45 minutes we've been together, don't you? You have an impression, don't you? And see, he just continues to get more impressed, so I'm just feeding him everything. I'm like, hey. That's just what life is, though. You leave an impression by every conversation that you have. Every nonverbal conversation. Think about your communication. The hardest thing to do in life is communicate effectively. I threw the word effectively in there for a reason. Because, see, everybody in here talks to somebody on a day-to-day basis. Do you actually hear what they're saying? So there's a difference between hearing and listening. I want you to hear what I'm saying. There's a difference between hearing and listening. When you hear somebody, the only thing you need is ears, because you can hear white noise. I can hear people out there on the phone talking, but I can't decipher what it is that they're saying because I'm only listening with my ears. But to really listen, you have to listen with your heart because you have a desire to comprehend what somebody's telling you. You guys ever heard the 80-20 rule? 80-20 rule when it comes to communication. When you have a conversation with somebody, you should listen 80% of the time and only talk 20% of the time. And out of the 20% of the time you're talking, 19% of that 20% needs to be you talking about what they said to really comprehend, that you understand what it is they told you. Think about it, guys. A customer comes to you and you can recite everything that they said back to them. How does that make you feel? How did it make you feel when I remembered your name, Cheyenne?
Good.
Man, you was listening to me. The bad thing about it is I forget names a lot. Just being honest. But how do you think a customer feel when you say, so what you're telling me is that you want to come in and you want to change your business because you're the only person in your family that's had this opportunity. Everybody else has worked for someone and I haven't seen anybody reach their full potential. I want to be the first person in my family to change that, and now my family dynamic will be completely different. Absolutely. They're ready to go now. Hey, this lady listen to me. Let's do it. What I need to do. How I need to get started. Tell me what I do. Tell me what I need to do. But if you're working what ifs, well, if we get you, no, say when. It's a simple vernacular change. Say when instead of if. When you talk to somebody today, you will create a lasting relationship that will get you a sale. Well, if this person said, I told him when I came in, when I signed the contract, I said, Roy, when you saw me the first time, when I left the first time, I didn't sign the contract. I didn't do anything to move forward. So I was like, man, I don't have the money. See, the problem is, I didn't take advantage of the resource. You got to be resourceful. If money is an issue, find the money. If time is an issue, find the time. You've ever heard somebody say, I don't have time? You guys say, I don't have time. That's a lie. You don't make the time. I'm not lying to you. There are certain things in life that you've been fed that we just acquiesce to because so many people have said it, but majority doesn't equal right. That's why I tell you how to compete against somebody. I've heard my whole life people tell me practice makes perfect. It's the biggest lie in the world. Practice never makes perfect, because if practice made perfect, what would you need practice for? Practice makes progression. Success is not an end goal. Success is a byproduct of the work that you put in. It's a journey. It's a constant process. And until you learn to actually cherish the process of getting to where you want to be, you won't be successful because you don't love the process. And the process is hard to be loved sometimes. The process is like that child that doesn't want to listen. The process is like that child that doesn't want to do his or her homework. The process is like that individual that just irks you by everything they say, but you got to enjoy the process. Jerome once said something that is truly profound to me. He says, stop wishing for situations to get easier. Wish for yourself to get stronger. Guys, I study all these people that have spoken before me. I'm not studying them because I want to be them. I'm studying them because they've done it at a high level. Why would I not look at them and see what they've done? I've got my own flavor. Do I sound like anybody I've ever heard? Did y'all know who Jonathan Rivers was before y'all came in the door today? Did y'all know who Believe in Motivate was? You know now. And that's the same thing you can say, hey, I didn't know WXTX had this kind of package. I know now. Taylor laid it out for me. Vanessa laid it out for me. Akila, right? Laid it out for me. You were like, you better remember my name. I sat up here in front with my WXTX shirt on and you don't remember my name? Point of the matter is, everything you need is inside of you. We keep looking for external sources to get everything we need. We've got everything inside of us. You just have to put it to use. Activate it. I'm done.
Thank you. I could sit here all day. But we got work to do. And
I do as well.
It started about an hour ago, our work, right? Listening to that. Just to let everybody know, everybody get a t-shirt. I'm buying. Okay.
See what I'm saying?
I think we need to, not that we need a reminder of what we just heard, because I think it's embedded now. But I'd love to, step forward, everybody, get with Jonathan before he leaves.
I'll go down and get the box, and I'll bring it up, and you guys just tell me what, because I have them separated. You tell me what color you want, and we'll make sure you get what you need, okay?
Thank you.
No, I thank you guys. Give it up for yourself.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, man. No, I appreciate you, man.